It's gonna be challenging. But I'll tell you, I've never shied away from challenges. From my days as an Atlanta police officer, working when crack cocaine hit the streets of Atlanta, walking a footbeat on Auburn Avenue, walking Coretta Scott King to her car every night, working as one of the original Red Dog officers, working in some of the most troubled communities in our city, and focusing on solving real issues and not shying away from danger. I mean, I was shot in the line of duty, I was stabbed, serving and protecting my community. So I've never, as a military officer, I've had the privilege to lead Georgia's best young men and women in combat multiple times. I've never shied away from leading from the front. We've done a great job in Georgia of bringing solid conservative values and leadership in making Georgia one of the best states in the union. The real problems today is in Washington, D.C. and the dysfunction. President Trump was elected to be a transformational leader, and he's trying to do some major transformations. And he needs people in the Senate that won't just sit on the sidelines and protest or write strongly worded letters. We need people who will actually get things done, that will work with a single focus of bringing best value for our tax dollars. And we don't have serious people in Washington. And so I'm focused on doing that. So I'm never shied away from problems.
Are you going to be able to operate independently of President Trump in a way that would appeal to folks who might be less laudatory of him than you are?
I will tell you, I have practical experience working with and supporting President Trump on many of the issues that he's trying to transform this nation. I don't know if I want to work independently. To win in Georgia, you have to have, obviously, the Kemp formula and the Trump formula combined are going to be the ones that they're successful in Georgia. And so I'm not going to shy away of supporting the president. He is clearly was my choice. I supported, I campaigned on his behalf, but working also closely with Governor Kemp. And so I think I'm one of the few candidates that can actually navigate those two camps and still put my own brand, because I'm a known individual, not only as a policeman but also as a military officer. What you see is what you get with me. You get a solid performer who's been a law enforcement professional, but also a military leader.
Let me ask you a couple of additional Trump questions. He made news over the weekend by accepting a 747 from Qatar. Is that appropriate?
You know what, I will tell you, what's inappropriate is the fact that Boeing Corporation has not been able to deliver the new Air Force One jet. It is disastrous that a foreign government feels bad about the security of our president, that they're willing to donate a plane. And I don't know if that's going to actually work, happen or not. But the fact that Boeing Corporation, through their woke, cannot deliver a plane that is secure for our president to fly around. I think that's a commentary that nobody wants to talk about. It's a shame that our foreign government wants to donate a plane because they don't think that the current Air Force One is secure and safe.
Does it bother you that a president might accept such a gift?
It really doesn't. I think there's enough lawyers and Bob, and there'll be enough people that will throw their comments into this. I think President Trump clearly wants what's best for the United States. I want my president to be able to fly around the world in safety and with his team to get the tremendous amount of not only economic deals, but our security deals. I am sure, I have full confidence that the Secret Service and our Air Force will make sure that the aircraft is safe. My real problem is that the fact that a U.S. corporation that we spend a ton of money, not only in our defense, can't deliver a plane on time. That to me is embarrassing.
I'm going to ask you one other Trump question, and then
of course
we'll move on. Is it appropriate for the president to use the power of the government to punish universities or law firms that merely disagree with him?
I think I would characterize the fact that universities are breaking law and allowing anti-Semitism and denying the rights of free access to Jewish students. I think that is absolutely wrong. And I think it's appropriate for the president to put every bit of pressure to correct that behavior. The fact that young American students who happen to be Jewish can't get access to a classroom without being blocked, I think that's disgraceful. That's wrong. And for universities to allow that, to look the other way, they shouldn't be getting taxpayers' money if they're willing to support that kind of discrimination. And so I support the president.
And blocking law firms from accessing government buildings?
No, he's not. What he's blocking is allowing them to have a security clearance. If you've shown that a law firm has abused their access to classified information, they shouldn't get a government business. There's a cost for breaking the rules of behavior for any corporation. The previous administration was not shy about punishing any corporation that they disagreed with. In fact, they brought the full measure of the federal government after them. I don't think the president's saying is you're not going to have a privileged classified access to classified information if you're known to engage in dishonesty and in misinformation.
All right.
There's consequences.
Let me ask you just, Governor Kemp said the other day that he wants to regain the Senate seat and that it was a seat that Georgia never should have lost when Senator Ossoff beat Senator Perdue. Do you agree that Georgia shouldn't have lost that seat and why?
I agree. There's a number of reasons why, but I agree that those two seats should be, and in fact, Georgia does not have 2 senators representing the state of Georgia. California has maybe 3, maybe 4 senators representing Georgia. Georgia does not have a representation in the state. We have folks that deliberately are trying to block or throw obstacles into our legislature, into our governor, and they're not representing the values of Georgia. Boys playing in girls' sports, blocking aid to Israel, a number of things are not, they have not been serious about. And so I think that we need a representation in the state of Georgia that reflects the values of our state and who represents the entire state, not just a small little bits of the community or liberal interest groups from California and New York.
Are you going to welcome either President Trump or Governor Kemp, for that matter, campaigning with you, maybe in the primary? Or
Absolutely. I will take anybody's support. I have to make the case to Georgians that I will represent their interests, their values, and bringing serious governance to the state of Georgia. The same things that made us successful in Georgia, I plan to bring those as part of the Georgia team in Washington.
And talk to me briefly about what you bring to the Republican Party that maybe it lacks in terms of having for example, a native Spanish-speaking character out there reaching a vote that's...
We've been able to be very successful in galvanizing and exciting Latino voters in Georgia. And I think I bring that. Georgia, as we know, the margins are very tight. And so bringing suburban voters, Latino voters, veterans, law enforcement, folks that focus on security, serious issues. I think I'm the best candidate to bring that into this coalition, because it's going to take a coalition of all these interests and of all the folks that potentially are looking at the candidacy. I think I'm the best one that can bring that coalition together.
You've had experience at campaign events, sort of in Spanish-speaking areas and that sort of thing. What have you learned from those experiences in terms of their willingness to either cross party lines or maybe just express true conservative values that they haven't been willing to do at the ballot box?
I will tell you, the Latino voters are just like any other voter. They want the same things. They want less government. They want a secure community. They want to keep money in their pockets instead of giving it to the government for nonsense like the New Green Deal or Stacey Abrams' $2 billion, secret stoves, I guess. They are interested in good governance. And so I speak to that. I don't try to pander like a lot of the Democrats. John Ossoff, they were bringing, Lin-Manuel Miranda to come to speak to folks in Gainesville and Atlanta. Folks in Georgia have no idea who these folks from New York are. They want to hear the same things that every average Georgia voter was interested in. They just want to hear it in Spanish if they can help it. And I'm the candidate that can do that.